movies. So I'm gonna start this off. Don't think Jay would have took it. I just saw the head splatter from him being near you. So the picture of that's pretty funny. All right, but my favorite horror movie ever since I had a very strange upbringing. So we'll start with a story. Normally, when you're like, say, 5, 4 to 6 range, your parents will put you on the couch, maybe even younger actually, and throw on tapes. Well, when we grew up, VHSs of like Sesame Street, things like that. The kid's favorite thing, and you'd sit there like a little kid, like, "Woo," and watch that for hours, and your parents get a break. Well, my parents decided, well, if Sesame Street wasn't working, they had made a copy from television, so cursing was edited out and sexual content was moved out of it, and they let me watch The Howling, and that was great because The Howling it's still a great movie. I bought it on DVD. It's got my best, in my opinion, werewolf transformations out there. Other people may have other things. I've seen different things, looked online what people say, but for me, it doesn't compare. The best how werewolf transformations happen in that, and it was very scary. Even to this day, when you're watching, it's like that element, like the sounds, the spookiness, the quiet, the ambience of it all. Extremely good movie, and that's what I would sit and watch as like a 6-year-old. And yes, I didn't bother my parents because I was sitting on the couch like this for a good 2 hours. I remember when that movie was finished, sometimes I'd be like, we had a little brown table that you would put stuff in and it would be behind the couch. And it was daylight out. So, they didn't do that to me in the dark or anything. It was always daylight. But I found myself after it was over behind the couch under the table chilling, like hiding. But I'd say, yeah, Howling 1, not so much the others. Howling 1 was my favorite horror movie. I do thoroughly enjoy, this is what I was talking about before, with movies that grasp the sounds, but all the super visuals. The guy, was it I want to say James Wong. I could be wrong about that. 100% probably wrong. But the guy who's done Insidious, The Conjuring, those movies, I still love watching those. They just have a feel where even I jump like, oh shit. Like, that's what I like, that boom moment where your heart just jumps a beat. And they do really good. All those movies are good. I just watched Conjuring 3 the other night with Annabelle Beginnings or whatever, or Homecoming, whatever it was
Yeah,
called.
The Conjuring's
That
pretty
was
cool.
pretty. Those are very, very good movies. Of course, if you really want to go deep into it, I don't want to steal other people's movies, but what got me and Jay, I think, one time pretty damn good with an ex-girlfriend of mine. Bored one night, didn't know what to go see. What's this movie, The Grudge? I haven't heard shit about this. Let's go sit and watch it. And then Anna was so pissed off at us. Like, why would you take me to see this movie? I jumped so hard that first scene when they opened up, find the kid in the closet. I was like, oh, shit. She was like, I gotta go. I'm like, nope, you're staying. We're finishing it. The original Grudge, because I had no idea what I was getting into, scared the crap out of me. So that was a good movie. But I'll say there's plenty of movies like that. So, Dave, you can actually go next this time.
Oh, me?
Yeah, we'll switch it up a little.
Okay, sure. Well, you mentioned werewolf movies, but what about American Werewolf in London?
Oh,
That
I
was a good
forgot.
one.
That's
That
my
was-
second favorite. Yeah,
that
that's a really good one.
That was really good, and the transformations in that were
pretty good too. Yeah.
that was pretty unique for the times back then. It's really amazing. You think about those old movies back then and how they did things with just the practical effects and stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Now that was another movie, real quick, not to cut you off, but that was another one I grew up on because if my father really wanted to get to me and bother me, and he just got a kick out of it, they would start singing Blue Moon as I was going up the stairs in the dark to bed, and then I would run back downstairs so quickly. Why are you gonna do that? Because I'd be freaked the hell out. as a little
You just
kid.
hear down the stairs.
I was done. That movie scared. Every time I heard Blue Moon, I was shitting bricks. Oh man, it was great. It's good to grow up like that, away. All right, continue on, my man. Just a quick story.
I would have to say the Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. I mean, that freaked the fuck out of me, man. That shit was scary because I mean, you can't get away. You go to sleep. Everybody got sleep, right? That motherfucker coming after you.
There's no escape.
There's no escape, man.
Which one of those had the girl in the body bag that was like sliding down the hospital hallway? Was that
I don't know if that was the first
There's
one.
so many, man. I don't know.
That was so creepy to me.
The first one I thought was, the first one's classic, but then they get all campy and shit with the rest of them.
I did like
they
the
did get
Warriors one.
serious again. That was good.
Dream Warriors was fun.
Yeah, that was good. That was a fun one. But I don't know, that original one, just that first time of it's fucking that always gave me nightmares. I couldn't fucking sleep.
Like
After
honestly,
watching that.
what a good idea for a movie they made with that. Like you don't have anything too super creative these days. Like that was like a really good idea.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't think it had ever been done before. That sort of idea, right? I mean, killer coming at just kids in their sleep.
Well, the only other thing, and I don't know if that was before Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Catcher or Dream Chaser or something like that, was where they would go to sleep.
I think it's
and
Dream
the guys
Catcher.
might have been. And like the main guy was like, he was trained, he was good at what he did. They can go into the dreams, and he would change himself into this snake guy and kill you in the dreams. That's another spooky movie too. Not like super horror, but it was definitely freaky. So that was the only thing that was kind of on the lines with that, but not like a Freddy. Freddy was great.
Now, would you consider the first Alien to be a horror?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah,
sci-fi horror?
Definitely,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, because the whole thing, it's like survival. You're running around the ship trying to survive, trying to stay away from it. They were scared the whole damn time.
Yeah, a lot of people think like it has to be like a slasher film, but there's a lot of sci-fi. There's a lot of sci-fi that's horror too. Like it's not. It doesn't fit in that category in some people's eyes, but I think it totally is. I mean,
I would definitely put that up there because I mean, just the thought of that, that fucking like that thing attaching to the person's face and shit, and then it's like, oh yeah, everything's fine afterwards. It died off. Like, oh, we're okay, and then all of a sudden that scene with the when they're eating and it pops out, it's like that's just classic. It's a classic moment.
Around the guy's chest. Ugh.
Oh. And fucking skirt slithers away. Like,
oh, it's so nasty.
What the fuck just happened?
Classic ass movie.
Oh yeah.
What else you got? That's good. It's got to have more than that.
Huh? I'm not a huge horror person. That's
true. That's
my whole thing. I mean, those are my classics really for me. I mean, I've seen other ones. I mean, Friday the 13th. Which one was? I actually thought, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought the remake for Friday the 13th was good. The one that came out a couple of years ago, that combined like the first like 4 movies or something.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I.
Hold on, yeah, it was like at the
house.
It was I think I know what you're talking about. I think that came. Was it right before Freddy vs. Jason?
No. This was after. This was like a couple of years ago. Just a couple of years ago, like 2017 or 16, something like that.
Oh, did I see it?
It was like a remake of. It starts out at the end of the first movie, where the mother is chasing the last girl, and then she kills her, and then like it turns out like Jason is like actually still alive, and he watched the whole thing happen, and he grows up in the woods there and everything, and they start. I think they go through like the first 3 or 4 movies, kind of combine them together into this one movie. With the way things happen and everything. He's like a survivalist out in the woods there.
Check that one out.
Yeah, sure. No, that was good. I thought that was good.
By the way, real quick, but right behind me says it all. Horror video games like Diablo and stuff. Mm-hmm. You come across, those are horror games in themselves. You see some of the
I would definitely consider
layouts.
Diablo's definitely a horror game. I mean, it's a different.
In the beginning,
it's not. It's a different type. I don't think it's like Resident Evil where there's like suspense kind of thing, or where there's like jump scares. But if you look at it based on the creatures and the darkness of Diablo, where you can't see around the corner,
the dungeons,
right? Definitely,
yeah, very very spooky-esque.
Right.
Oh, you know what? Hellraiser.
Oh,
that
creepy shit.
Hellraiser. I would go with 1 and 2. I thought 2 was gory as hell, gory as fuck. I mean that movie is much more gory than the first one.
I've watched
those ones. Those are crazy. Those are some crazy ass movies.
Aren't they talking about doing a remake of that?
They made a new one recently. They made a new one, I think, a year or 2 ago. Came out.
I thought I heard something about they were thinking about possibly doing a remake, which I don't know.
It might.
Sometimes
they do it all right. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna do that one. I see May 9, 2019 announced the Spyglass Media to be developing a new remake of Hellraiser. So it was talked about 2 years ago. I don't know if anyone's come out since, but there's that.
There was a direct-to-video one that came out on, I think it was like on Amazon. You know, I seen it on Amazon, and that was at least 2 years ago that it
You
came
guys ever
out.
see House?
No.
It's basically it's a really freaky movie where you're like caught up in this house and everything that happens to people and everything in there comes back. And I think this like one guy like goes back to the wartime where he's messed up from like PTSD from war. And like his sergeant buddy guy that he gets blown up, or whatever, but comes back through the house and is trying to kill him in the house, looking all demonic like and shit. That was a pretty cool, like old classic movie for horror. But House, Hellraiser though, gotta give you those were just sadistic.
Classics.
Oh yeah, sadistic.
Even that, I mean, classic. You know, creating that character and that idea. You know,
Well, that's from the books, and actually I guess they're called the Cenobites. I think that's what they were. Like
his minions.
yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
they're all like actually they were talking about some things where some of them are not even bad if you go by the actual storyline. Like
Mhm.
they're the in between hell and heaven type deal and hunting down shit. Kind of there's a whole bunch of stuff with that. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, it's creepy ass movies. Now before we add more, what about you, Jay? Because I'm sure we stole all your shit.
I would definitely say the scariest for me was definitely The Exorcist. Definitely.
Oh, that's another good one. And
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
Definitely.
Oof.
Poltergeist, that's another one. The Exorcist definitely when she goes down the stairs backwards on the friggin' with that spider. I think that was the add-on. That was later on though, right? They added
Yeah,
that.
they didn't show. I don't think they showed that.
Dude, that was.
What about when she took the cross? It was like, right.
I know.
I was like,
But you know what?
twisted shit.
Those like around that time, like with The Omen and
That's
all
another
those movies around that time, to me were like the best because it's like just the way that they did it. It wasn't like today's day and age. It was just like the music and the atmosphere and it was I don't know. I just get a different feeling when I watch those movies. You know what I mean? Like
They do a thing with darkness.
it's just simple. Like it's such a.
Also
It's not like a.
The effects are better, I think, back in the day with the practical effects. I think it's a lot better than the CGI stuff where they just splatter so much shit all over the place or whatever, and they try and make it look so real. I think it actually looks,
It makes it fake looking. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks much more fake. Whereas back in the day, you had the practical effects, and I mean, like with those werewolf movies, I mean, the way that they could do that was just fucking amazing.
Like
you know how many hours probably a transformation takes to actually film and do and makeup and shit? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, even like The Exorcist, like how the girl like she looked normal in the beginning, and then as the movie goes, she just starts getting worse and worse, and you can start seeing her how she's like changing and everything like that. You know what I mean?
The devil coming out of her.
Like, and then you got to think about it in somebody else's eyes. Like there was one scene where one of the women is like babysitting her, like just watching her, and then all of a sudden you can hear her screaming, and then you open up the door. Like it's just like imagine being in that position where like there's this girl that's like on the bed and she's just like changing and nobody knows what's going on. Like it's crazy.
Total creepiness. Yep.
Like it doesn't even have to be
that?
like a lot of like it doesn't even have to be jump scares. It's just the creepiness of it just gets you more than anything, I think. You know?
You're like involved in the movie so much your heart is racing with it. Like you are in it.
Right.
You feel what they're feeling. Not today, like you see what they're feeling. No, you feel what they're feeling.
Like another one, like even like Chucky. Chucky never had special effects, really, a little bit, but it was like it wasn't like the highest rated special effects ever, but just the way they did it, the creepiness of it, the music, the sounds, and like just like
Yeah, the first one was so good. Oh man, so good.
And I always think like when they have like movies with like kids involved in it, like Chucky with with the little boy and stuff like that, that always gets me a little bit more. Like The Omen was really freaky because it was a kid involved in it and stuff like that. It's weird when you have like an innocent person involved in something that's changing. I don't know, something about it, you know what I mean? You have like you see the innocence of kids and then it adds to it, I think.
Well, you remember being a kid, right? And
I
then
guess, yeah.
this happening as a kid would just like you better have a diaper. Done. Like I'd be scared. But speaking of Chucky, did you see it's either going to be a Netflix thing? They're doing some new Chucky movie or show.
There's a TV show on.
TV series, yeah.
I actually kind of want to do just to see that, because I like.
Yeah, I was thinking about checking it out.
It's out already.
So that's something I got. What is it on though? Is it Netflix?
I think it's on Amazon. Is it on Amazon
no, it's
Prime?
Not Netflix. It's not Netflix.
Amazon Prime,
Let's
maybe.
see. Child's Play, right? Or did they call it Chucky? I don't know what they call it.
No, she's Child's Play, I believe.
Child's Play. 2019.
It's on regular TV. I think it's on regular TV, isn't it? I've seen commercials for it.
Child's Play TV. Chucky TV series 2020. So it's called Chucky.
Chucky. All right. There you go.
Let's see. So yeah. What is it on? Play intro. I want to know. I want to watch. USA Sci-Fi.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I gotta catch that. I think I have some new stations.
And another movie I liked was the original Saw. I liked the original Saw as well. It wasn't a that's like a different type of horror to me. It's not a jump scare horror, but it's a very suspenseful horror. You know what I mean? Like, the original was good. All the rest of them, they got a little crazy towards the end. But I remember seeing the first one.
Because I guess you've seen the first one, right? So it's like what's coming in the second one in a way.
Yeah, but I like the first one.
They all went off. They went off script, and in all the other ones, the first one was, "What are you willing to do to survive?" Whereas the other ones, it was like they put people in traps against other people, and it was like you had to kill. Like they didn't. In the first one, everybody had an equal opportunity to get out. Yes. Whereas in all the other ones, you didn't have an equal opportunity because you had to fight somebody else or rely on somebody else to get you out. So it was totally different. I think it was totally different.
And I gotta say, like, a lot of people bash it, but when I first watched the Blair Witch Project, I remember it just because you know what it is. You could go through that whole movie and you don't see anything. You don't see anything scary whatsoever until the end where the guy's like in the corner, but you still don't see anything. But for some reason, it freaked you out through the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't know what it is.
I liked it too.
Like I remember watching that movie and I was pretty freaked out through the movie. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it was the camera. It was like a digital camera, and you felt like anybody could have that camera, and you could have been you out there, and it's like just like the freakiness of the woods, and like you don't know what's in the woods, and I don't know.
But never mind that, with all the media attention to this, was it real or not? Like everyone like listening to, like they upped it all around.
That definitely added to it. That's
yeah.
The marketing really made that movie more than anything.
Sure.
I think.
I like
marketing really helped.
I like the movies with the cameras, like Cloverfield. I wouldn't say that's 100% scary, but that was because it was all handheld camera, and you felt like you were just watching an actual real footage from somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those type were cool. Friday the 13th was really good. That's a classic. Anyone's around that time, I would say was really good. Like you said, The Howling, I like that.